It's the founder of the Scottish Resistance, Mr. James Scott.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm going to tell you about the Battle of Stirling Brig. Actually took place on 11th September. We're right on the date today. 11th September 1297. Now, in the run-up to that, what actually happened was that in March of 1296, Edward I, Hammer of the Scots, invaded Scotland with one of the biggest armies that he has ever brought up to Scotland. And he took over most of Scotland's castles. Now, what actually happened in the south of Scotland, Ayrshire up to Glasgow, that was the rise of William Wallace. He fought to free the south of Scotland. But in the north of Scotland, there was a man called Andrew de Murray. The English pronunciation of his name is Murray, Andrew Murray. Now, he fought in the north of Scotland and started clearing the invaders out of Scotland. He took castle after castle. And as I say, Wallace was doing the same in the south, from Ayrshire all the way up to Glasgow. Now, what actually happened? These two guys met for the very first time in September of 1297. And believe it or not, both these guys were declared joint leaders of the Scottish Army. Now just think about that for a minute. Two different divisions fighting for Scottish independence, but they came together to fight together for our freedom. And that's something we've got to bear in mind. We've all got to fight together for Scotland's freedom. So anyway, Murray and Wallace got together and decided that they were going to stop the invading force of the English at Stirling. So they devised a plan. Now, it's not clear in the history books whose idea it was, but they devised a plan that they would only allow so many English across the bridge at Stirling before they attacked, because obviously they were well outnumbered, so they had to have some sort of tactics in mind. So they allowed the English knights to come halfway across the bridge, and then Wallace and Murray gave the shout for the attack against the English invaders. And what happened was carnage. The English knights were falling into the river, and what actually happened in the end was so many of them died there in the river, and they ended up fleeing, and Scotland was free again. Now, a very important thing happened at that battle. Wallace and Murray signed a document called the Lubeck document. It went to Lubeck in Germany. In that document it said that we had defeated the English invaders and the Scottish ports were open once again to do business. Now, they've been telling us for years that we can't trade with other countries. It's absolutely nonsense. We've been trading with countries all over the world since the dawn of time. So there you go. The Lubeck document, it stated that we had defeated the invaders and the ports of Scotland were open again for business. Now, there's a very important thing in that document, the Lubeck document. It tells you exactly who William Wallace was. If you were to pick up a history book and look at it, it's going to say that William Wallace was the son of Malcolm Wallace of Elderslie. The history books are wrong, folks. Because the only legal document in existence, the Lubeck document, actually states that William Wallace was the son of Alan Wallace of Ayr. That is in that document. William Wallace, son of Alan Wallace of Ayr. So bear that in mind. He's actually from Ayrshire. Now, what actually happened after the Battle of Stirling Brig? Murray had been injured and he died, unfortunately, some weeks later. Wallace went on to fight for another year before his army was decimated at the Battle of Falkirk. He was captured in 1305 and taken all the way down to Smithfield in London. And on the 23rd of August, in the year 1305, William Wallace was brutally hung, drawn and quartered. Now, he wasn't the only Scot that was hung, drawn and quartered. His brother John Wallace, who fought alongside him in all the battles, was captured 2 years later in May of 1307 and taken to Smithfield in London, where he was hung, drawn and quartered. Two other great Scottish patriots, Simon Fraser and his brother John Fraser, were captured and taken to London, and on the 6th of September in the year 1308, they were hung, drawn and quartered. The brothers of Robert the Bruce, Nigel Bruce, he was hung, drawn and quartered at Berwick, and he had two other brothers who were hung, drawn and quartered at Carlisle. We have so many patriots, people, that were hung, drawn and quartered by the English. Now, I was talking there about Smithfield, where most of these hung, drawn and quarter situations took place. If you go down to Smithfield, on the wall of St Bartholomew's Hospital, there is a large plaque to William Wallace. It says, "To the immortal memory of Sir William Wallace, who was executed near this spot." Now, the point is near this spot. So some Scots wanted to find out exactly where the spot was where Wallace was executed. So they did a search in the Guildhall in London that keeps all the historical records of England. And they found that the gallows were actually situated across the road from where this plaque is, in Smithfield in London. It's at a place called Haberdasher's Hall, which apparently now is a Masonic place. Now, if you go to this place, you'll see these big words on the wall, Haberdasher's Hall, and you'll see a set of railings. Now, if you look through the railings, you will see up at the back where the spot is where they murdered lots of our patriots. There is a gigantic sign, I kid you not, and it says, "Serve and Obey." The spot where they killed William Wallace, his brother John Wallace, and hundreds of other patriots, they have a notice that says, "Serve and Obey." And believe it or not, that's exactly what's happening today. People in Scotland and England are serving and obeying this Tory administration. They're totally brainwashed with the media and obeying what they're being told. We've got to get out of this mindset and start thinking for ourselves. Be like Wallace. Be like Murray. Be like Robert the Bruce. Stand up for Scotland. I've only one more thing to say. This is a Scottish resistance! We will never give up the fight for Scotland's freedom! Never!